Now, part of this, obviously, this panel was meant to be a community conversation. You guys have dropped some pearls of wisdom today, and I'm excited to hear how the community is going to respond. Dr. Joy, your book that's behind you, The Resurrection of Truth, from the chains of falsehood, you know, that's a whole session in itself. We should have a whole follow-up conversation on that in itself. But is there anything you want to talk about, any of you want to talk about as it relates to truth and falsehoods, right? We're here as a part of a community together. Do you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to share about the concept of truth and falsehoods as we close this panel discussion for today?
I might say that we compromise truth regularly when we say we may not want to tell the whole truth about that we see because we have fear. Sometimes we don't have enough courage or bravery to step up to truth. And so we try to kind of pat it down and so forth. I believe that we have to be bold truth seekers and bold truth speakers. Thank you.
Y'all heard it here today, bold truth seekers and bold truth speakers. I love that. That's a word right there. We could drop the mic on that. But would you have anything else to share, Dr. Joy?
Well, I was going to say, and what Dr. Mimms talked about was the fact that the journey for truth is internal. Is really one of the major points of the book, is that after falsehood throws truth into a hole and puts on truth's clothes and starts walking through the world, and the world turns upside down and the big lie becomes dominant, and the people become small, and they pray to the ancestors. And the ancestors come, and the ancestors tell them that they can bring truth back in the world, but it has to start with themselves. They have to go through and they have to get rid of the deprogramming. They have to get rid of all the lies that we tell ourselves, that we carry in our minds. And the only way and only once when we can find our internal truths and reprogram ourselves, can we then go into common union, which is community, community. And then we can together, in terms of the community, in terms of the diversity and the dialectics and stuff, regain and put truth back into the world. But when you put truth back into the world, it's not just putting it back, because falsehood is always there, always waiting, to grab truth again. And so you've got to maintain yourself, and you can maintain yourself by being the both the internal affirmation and the external action. So it's we got to bring truth back. But what the book also talks about is strategies to keep it. How do we become indigestible while we're in the belly of this beast? How do we do this work, our activism, and not reduce ourselves and not kill ourselves and not get cancer?
How do we become indigestible? We can't become indigestible in the belly of the beast by using our homemade seasoning. You can't go to the store and reach up and find a season made by somebody else. And you have to look at the season and see if your ancestors were involved. That's why we use a lot of pepper. I'm from the South. That's why we use the magic. That's why we use the garden. The season of the garden, the season of our own homegrown medicine, the season of our spirituality. That's a different type of seasoning. That's how you work with the belly of the beast. If you're going to keep using somebody else's seasoning from an external perspective, you'll always be participating in a lie.
Wow. Ladies, this has been absolutely amazing. As we close.